أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على خاتم المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأجمعين. Let us all turn to Surah Ankabut, that's Surah 29, Ayat 45, commentary 179, and most pages is located on 1041. Those of you who have phones and their telephones are on, please cut them off and put them on mute, inshallah, because I hear a phone somewhere. So, commentary 179. Proclaim the message of Allah and pray to Him for purity and guidance. Allah's revelation carries His own proofs and is recognized by men of wisdom. Its rejectors but lose their own chances of profiting by the truth and attaining the paths that lead to Allah's own gracious presence. Recite what is sent of the book by inspiration to thee, and establish regular prayer. For prayer restrains from shameful and unjust deeds, and remembrance of Allah is the greatest thing in life without doubt, and Allah knows the deeds that you do. And dispute ye not with the people of the book, except with means better than mere disputations, unless it be with those of them who inflict wrong and injury. But say, we believe in the revelation which has come down to us, and in that which came down to you. Our Allah and your Allah is one, and it is to Him we bow in Islam. And thus it is that we have sent down the book to thee. So the people of the book believe therein, as also do some of these pagan Arabs, and none but unbelievers reject our signs. And thou wast not able to recite a book before this book came, nor art thou able to transcribe it with thy right hands. In that case, indeed, were the talkers of vanities of doubting. Nay, here are signs self-evident of the hearts of those endowed with knowledge, and none but the unjust reject our signs. Yet they say, why are not signs sent down to him from his Lord? Say, the signs are indeed with Allah, and I am indeed a clear warner. And it is not enough for them that we have sent down to thee the book which is rehearsed to them. Verily, in it is mercy and reminder to those who believe. Say, enough is Allah for a witness between me and you. He knows what is in the heavens and on earth. And it is those who believe in vanities and reject Allah that will perish in the end. And they ask thee to hasten on the punishment for them. Had it not been for a term of respite appointed, the punishment would certainly have come to them. And it will certainly reach them of a sudden while they perceive not. And they ask thee to hasten on the punishment, but of a surety hell will encompass the rejectors of faith, on the day that the punishment shall cover them from above them and from below them. And a voice shall say, taste ye the fruits of your deeds. O my servants who believe, truly spacious is my earth, therefore serve ye me and me alone. Every soul shall have a taste of death. In the end, to us shall ye be brought back. But those who believe and work deeds of righteousness, to them shall we give a home in heaven, lofty mansions beneath which rivers flow, to dwell therein for aye, an excellent reward for those who do good, those who persevere in patience and put their trust in their Lord and cherish it. How many are the creatures that carry not their own sustenance? It is Allah who feeds both them and you, for He hears and knows all things. If indeed thou ask them, who has created the heavens and the earth and subjected the sun and moon to his law? They will certainly reply, Allah. How are they then deluded away from the truth? Allah enlarges the sustenance which He gives to whichever of His servants He pleases. And He similarly grants by strict measure as He pleases. For Allah has full knowledge of all things. And if indeed thou ask them, who it is that sends down rain from the sky, gives life therewith to the earth after its death, they will certainly reply, Allah. Say, praise be to Allah, but most of them understand not. What is the life of this world but amusement and play? But verily the home in the hereafter, that is life indeed if they but knew. Now, if they embark on a boat, they call on Allah, making their devotion sincerely and exclusively to Him. But when He had delivered them safely to dry land, behold, they give a share of their worship to others, disdaining ungratefully our gifts and giving themselves up to worldly enjoyment. But soon will they know. Do they not then see that we have made the sanctuary secure, and that men are being snatched away from all around them? Then do they believe in that which is vain and reject the grace of Allah? And who does more wrong than he who invents a lie against Allah or rejects the truth when it reaches him? Is there not a home in hell for those who reject faith? And those who strive in our cause, we will certainly guide them to our paths. For verily Allah is with those who do right. Introduction to Surah Rum or Rome, commentary 180. Great empires rise and fall, conquer and are conquered, as happened to Rome and Persia. But the true decision is with Allah, who will make the righteous rejoice. Men may see but the outward crust of things, but in truth the end of things is all in all. In his own good time, he will separate good from evil. Praise and glory to him forever. Rome, or the Roman Empire, page 1051, Surah 30, Ayah 1. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Alif, Lam, Mim. The Roman Empire has been defeated in a land close by, but they, even after this defeat of theirs, will soon be victorious within a few years. With Allah is a decision in the past and in the future. On that day shall the believers rejoice with the help of Allah. He helps whom he will, and he is exalted in might, most merciful. It is the promise of Allah. Never does Allah depart from his promise, but most men understand not. They know but the outward things in the life of this world, but of the end of things they are heedless. Do they not reflect in their own minds? Not but for just ends and for a term appointed did Allah create the heavens and the earth and all between them. Yet are there truly many among men who deny the meeting with their Lord at the resurrection. Do they not travel through the earth and see what was the end of those before them? They were superior to them in strength. They tilled the soil and populated it in greater numbers than these have done. There came to them their apostles with clear signs, which they rejected, to their own destruction. It was not Allah who wronged them, but they wronged their own souls. In the long run, evil in the extreme will be the end of those who do evil, for that they rejected the signs of Allah and held them up to ridicule. It is Allah who begins the process of creation, then repeats it. Then shall ye be brought back to him. On the day that the hour will be established, the guilty will be struck dumb with despair. No intercessors will they have among their partners, and they will themselves reject their partners. On the day that the hour will be established, that day shall all men be sorted out. Then those who have believed and worked righteous deeds shall be made happy in a mead of delight. And those who have rejected faith and falsely denied our signs in the meeting of the hereafter, such shall be brought forth to punishment. So give glory to Allah when you reach eventide, and when you rise in the morning. Yea, to him be praise in the heavens and on earth, and in the late afternoon, and when the day begins to decline. It is he who brings out the living from the dead, and that brings out the dead from the living, and who gives life to the earth after it's dead. And thus shall ye be brought out from the dead. Commentary 181. Allah's signs are many, and so are his mysteries. Yet each does point to his unity, goodness, power, and mercy. There is none like unto him. His teachings is one, and men that split up his standard religion are but following their own lust. Ungrateful are they to give part worship to others, when all worship and praise and glory are due to him alone, in whom we have our life and being. Among the signs is this, that he created you from dust, and then behold, ye are men scattered far and wide. And among the signs is this, that he created for you mates from among yourselves, that you may dwell in tranquility with them. And he has put love and mercy between your hearts. Verily in that are signs for those who reflect. And among the signs is the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the variations in your language and your colors. Verily in that are signs for those who know. And among the signs is the sleep that you take by night and by day, and the quest that ye make for livelihood out of his bounty. Verily in that are signs for those who hearken. And among his signs he showed you the lightning by way both of fear and of hope. And he sends down rain from the sky, and with it gives life to the earth after it is dead. Verily in that are signs for those who are wise. And among his signs is this, that heaven and earth stand by his command. Then will he call you by a single call from the earth. Behold, ye straightway come forth to To him belongs every being that is in the heavens and on earth. All are devoutly obedient to him. It is he who begins the process of creation, then repeats it. And for him it is most easy. To him belongs the loftiest similitude we can think of in the heavens and the earth. For he is exalted in might, full of wisdom. He does propound to you a similitude from your own experiences. Do you have partners among those whom your right hands possess? The share is equal in the wealth we have bestowed on you? Do you fear them as you fear each other? Thus, we explain the signs in detail to a people that understand. Nay, the wrongdoers merely follow their own lusts, being devoid of knowledge. But who will guide those whom Allah leads astray? To them there will be no helpers. So set thou thy face steadily and truly to the faith. Establish Allah's handiwork according to the pattern of which he has made mankind. No change let there be in the work wrought by Allah. That is the standard religion. But most among mankind understand not. Turn ye back in repentance to him and fear him. Establish regular prayers and be not ye among those who join gods with Allah. That is, those who split up their religion and become mere sects, each party rejoicing in that which is with itself. Now when trouble touches men, they cry to their Lord, turning back to him in repentance. But when he gives them a taste of mercy as from himself, behold, some of them pay part worship to other gods besides their Lord, as if to show their ingratitude for the favors we have bestowed on them. Then enjoy your brief day, but soon will you know your folly. What have we sent down authority to them which points out to them the things to which they pay part worship? When we give men a taste of mercy, they exult thereat. And when some evil afflicts them because of what their own hands have sinned for, behold, they are in despair. See they not that Allah enlarges the provision and restricts it to whomsoever he pleases? Verily in that are signs for those who believe. So give what is due to kindred, the needy, and the wayfarer. That is best for those who seek the countenance of Allah, and it is they who will prosper. That which ye lay out for increase through property of other people will have no increase with Allah. But that which ye lay out for charity, seeking the countenance of Allah, will increase. It is these who will get a recompense multiplied. It is Allah who has created you. Further, he has provided for your sustenance. Then he has caused you to die, and again he will give you life. Are there any of your false partners who can do any single one of these things? Glory to him, and high is he above the partner they attribute to him. Commentary 82. The result of evil is evil. So mischief spreads, but Allah will restore the balance in the end. He did create all things pure, and will purge and purify as he does the physical world with winds. Destructions await those that break his harmony and law. It will come when least expected. Let the righteous wait and endure with constancy, for evil is shaky, with no faith in itself and no roots, and is doomed to perish utterly. Mischief has appeared on land and sea because of the meed that the hands of men have earned, that Allah may give them a taste of some of their deeds, in order that they may turn back from evil. Say, travel through the earth and see what was the end of those before you. Most of them worship others besides Allah. But set thou thy face to the right religion, before there come from Allah the day, which there is no chance of averting. On that day shall men be divided in two. That is, those who reject faith will suffer from that rejection, and those who work righteousness will spread their couch of repose for themselves in heaven, that he may reward those who believe and work righteous deeds out of his bounty, for he loves not those who reject faith. Now, among his signs is this, that he sends the winds as heralds of glad tidings, giving you a taste of his grace and mercy, that the ships may sail majestically by his command, and that ye may seek of his bounty in order that ye may be grateful. We did indeed send before thee apostles to their respective peoples, and they came to them with clear signs. Then to those who transgressed, we meted out retribution, and it was due from us to aid those who believed. It is Allah who sends the winds, and they raise the clouds. Then does he spread them in the sky as he wills, and breaks them into fragments, until thou seest raindrops issue from the midst thereof. Then when he has made them reach such of his servants as he wills, behold, they do rejoice. Even though before they received the rain, just before this, they were dumb with despair. Then contemplate, O man, the memorials of Allah's mercy, how he gives life to the earth after its death. Verily, the same will give life to men who are dead, for he has power over all things. And if we but send the wind from which they see their tilth turn yellow, behold, they become thereafter ungrateful unbelievers. So verily thou canst not make the dead to hear, nor canst thou make the deaf to hear the call when they show their backs and turn away. Nor canst thou lead back the blind from the straying. Only those wilt thou make to hear who believe in our signs and submit their wills in Islam. It is Allah who created you in a state of helpless weakness, then gave you strength after weakness, then after strength give you weakness and a hoary head. He creates as he wills, and it is he who has all knowledge and power. On the day that the hour of reckoning will be established, the transgressors will swear that they tarried not but an hour. Thus were they used to be being deluded. But those endued with knowledge and faith will say, indeed we did tarry within Allah's decree to the day of resurrection. And this is the day of resurrection, but ye were not aware. So on that day, no excuse of theirs will avail the transgressors, nor will they be invited then to seek grace by repentance. Verily, we have propounded for men in this Quran every kind of parable. But if thou bring to them any sign, the unbelievers are sure to say, ye do nothing but talk vanities. Thus does Allah seal up the hearts of those who understand not. So patiently persevere, for verily the promise of Allah is true. Nor let those shake thy firmness who have themselves no certainty of faith. Introduction into Surah Luqman the Wise, commentary 183. What is the book of wisdom? It is a guide and a mercy to men, and it teaches them how to attain bliss. Allah's mercies are infinite. How can men deny him? Luqman the Wise taught grateful worship of the one true Allah, and the service of men begin with parents. Every good deed is known to Allah and is brought to account. So walk in the golden mean and serve him with constancy and firmness of purpose. Surah Luqman, or the Wise, in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Alif, Lam, Mim. These are verses of the Wise book, a guide and a mercy to the doer of goods, that is, those who establish regular prayer and give regular charity and have in their hearts the assurance of the hereafter. These are on true guidance from their Lord, and these are the ones who will prosper. But there are among men those who purchase idle tales without knowledge or meaning to mislead men from the path of Allah and throw ridicule on the path. For such there will be a humiliating penalty. When our signs are rehearsed to such a one, he turns away in arrogance, as if he heard them not, as if there were deafness in both his ears. Announce to him a grievous penalty. For those who believe and work righteous deeds, there will be gardens of bliss to dwell therein. The promise of Allah is true, and he is exalted in power wise. He created the heavens without any pillars that you can see. He set on the earth mountains, standing firm, lest it should shake with you. And he scattered through it beasts of all kinds. And we send down rain from the sky and produced on the earth every kind of noble creature in pairs. Such is the creation of Allah. Now, show me, what is there that others besides him have created? Nay, but the transgressors are in manifest error. Now we bestow in the past wisdom on Luqman. Show thy gratitude to Allah, and any who is so grateful does so to the profit of his own soul. But if any is ungrateful, verily Allah is free of all wants, worthy of all praise. Behold, Luqman said to his son by way of instruction, O my son, join not in worship others with Allah, for false worship is indeed the highest wrong known. And we have enjoined on a man to be good to his parents. In travail upon travail did his mother bear him, and in years twain was his weaning. Hear the command. Show gratitude to me and to thy parents. To me is thy final goal. But if they strive to make thee join and worship with me things of which thou hast no knowledge, obey them not. Yet bear them company in this life of justice, and consideration, and follow the way of those who turn to me in love. In the end, the return of you all is to me, and I will tell you the truth and meaning of all that you did. O my son, said Luman, if there be but the weight of a mustard seed, and it were hidden in a rock, or anywhere in the heavens or on earth, Allah will bring it forth. For Allah understands the finest mysteries, and is well acquainted with them. And O my son, establish regular prayer, enjoin what is just, and forbid what is wrong, and bear with patient constancy whatever betide thee. For this is firmness of purpose in the conduct of affairs. And swell not thy cheek for pride in men, nor walk in insolence through the earth. For Allah loveth not any arrogant boaster. And be moderate in thy pace. Lower thy voice. For the harshness of sound, without doubt, is the brain of an ass. Commentary 184. True wisdom sees Allah's boundless bounties to man and how all nature is made to serve man's end. It is due from us to know our place, discern the limits of our knowledge, and see how far above us is Allah's wisdom and His law. Let us not deceive ourselves. The end of all things will come, but the when and the how are known to Allah alone, to whom be all praise. Do you not see that Allah has subjected to your use all things in the heavens and on earth, and has made His bounty flow to you in exceeding measures, both seen and unseen? Yet there are among men those who dispute about Allah without knowledge and without guidance and without a book to enlighten them. When they are told to follow the revelation that Allah sent down, they say, "Nay, we shall follow the way that we found our fathers following." What? Even if it's Shaitan beckoning them to the penalty of the blazing fire? Whoever submits his whole self to Allah and is a doer of good has grasped indeed the most trustworthy handhold, and with Allah rests the end and decisions of all affairs. But if any reject faith, let not his rejection grieve thee. To us is their return, and we shall tell them the truth of their deeds. For Allah knows well all that is in men's hearts. And we grant them their pleasure for a little while, but in the end shall we drive them to a chastisement unrelenting. If thou ask them, who it is that created the heaven and the earth, they will certainly say Allah, saying, praise be to Allah. But most of them understand not. To Allah belong all things in the heavens and earth. Verily Allah is He that is free of all wants, worthy of all praise. And if all the trees on earth were pens, and the oceans were ink with 7 oceans behind it to add to its supply, yet would not the words of Allah be exhausted in writing. For Allah is exalted in power, full of wisdom. And your creation or your resurrection is in no wise but as an individual soul. For Allah is He who hears and sees all things. Seest thou not that Allah merges night into day, and He merges day into night? That He has subjected the sun and the moon to His law, each running its course for a term appointed? And that Allah is well acquainted with all that you do? That's because Allah is the only reality. And because whatever else they invoke besides Him is falsehood. And because Allah, He is the Most High, the Most Great. Seest thou not that the ship sailed through the oceans by the grace of Allah, that He may show you of His signs? Verily in this are signs for all who constantly persevere and give thanks. And when a wave covers them like the canopy of clouds, they call to Allah, offering Him sincere devotion. But when He has delivered them safely to land, there are among them those that halt between right and wrong. But none reject our signs except only a perfidious, ungrateful wretch. O mankind, do your duty to your Lord, and fear the coming of a day when no father can avail aught for his son, nor a son avail aught for his father. Verily, the promise of Allah is true. Let not then this present life deceive you, nor let the chief deceiver deceive you about Allah. Verily, the knowledge of the hour is with Allah alone. It is He who sends down the rain. It is He who knows what's in the womb. Nor does anyone know what it is that he will earn on the morrow. Nor does anyone know in what land he is to die. Verily, with Allah is full knowledge, and He is acquainted with all things. Commentary 185. Introduction to Surah Al-Sajdah. We have a decision on 1096, inshallah. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 1096. 10 How can unbelievers realize the mystery of revelation? They do not even see the marvel and mystery of time and Allah's creation and how they were themselves created. If they could but see how the end will shape itself, how the good will be sorted out from evil. The two are not equal in goal. Clear are the signs and the revelations of Allah in nature, history, and the message of His living prophets. If they learn not now, alas, it will be too late when time's wings are furled. Sajda, adoration. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Alif, Lam, Mim. This is the revelation of the book of which there is no doubt from the Lord of the worlds. Or do they say his foreship? Nay, it is the truth from thy Lord, that thou mayest admonish a people to whom no warner has come before thee, in order that they may receive guidance. It is Allah who has created the heavens and the earth, and all between them in 6 days, and is firmly established on the throne of authority. You have none besides him to protect or intercede for you. Will you not then receive admonition? He rules all affairs from the heavens and the earth. In the end will all affairs go up to him on a day, the space whereof will be as 1,000 years of your reckoning. Such is he, the knower of all things, hidden and open, the exalted in power, the merciful. He who has made everything which he has created most good. He began the creation of man with nothing more than clay, and made his progeny from a quintessence of the nature of a fluid despised. But he fashioned him in due proportion and breathed into him something of his spirit. And he gave you the faculties of hearing and sight and feeling and understanding. Little thanks do you give. And they say, what? When we lie hidden and lost in the earth, shall we indeed be in a creation renewed? Nay, they deny the meeting with their Lord. Say, the angel of death, put in charge of you, will duly take your souls. Then shall ye be brought back to your Lord. If only thou couldst see when the guilty ones will bend low their heads before their Lord, saying, our Lord, we have seen and we have heard. Now then send us back to the world. We will work righteousness, for we do indeed now believe. If we had so willed, we could certainly have brought every soul its true guidance. But the word from me will come true. I will fill hell with jinns and men altogether. Taste ye then, for ye forgot the meeting of this day of yours, and we too will forget you. Taste ye the penalty of eternity for your evil deeds. Only those believe in our signs, who when they are recited to them, fall down in adoration and celebrate the praises of their Lord, nor are they ever puffed up with pride. That's the sajda. Their limbs do forsake their beds of sleep, and while they call on their Lord in fear and hope, and they spend in charity out of the sustenance which we have bestowed on them. Now, no person knows what the lights of the eyes are kept hidden and reserved for them, as a reward for their good deeds. Is then the man who believes no better than the man who is rebellious and wicked? Not equal, are they? For those who believe and do righteous deeds are gardens as hospitable homes for their good deeds. And as to those who are rebellious and wicked, their abode will be the fire. Every time they wish to get away therefrom, they will be forced thereunto. And it will be said to them, taste ye the penalty of the fire, the which ye were wont to reject as false. And indeed, we will make them taste of the penalty of this life prior to the supreme penalty, in order that they may repent and return. And who does more wrong than one to whom recite the signs of his Lord, and who then turns away therefrom? Verily, from those who transgress, we shall exact due retribution. We did indeed aforetime give the book to Moses. Be not then in doubt of its reaching thee. And we made it a guide to the children of Israel. And we appointed from among them leaders giving guidance under our command, so long as they persevere with patience and continue to have faith in our signs. Verily thy Lord will judge between them on the day of judgment in matters wherein they differ among themselves. Does it not teach them a lesson? How many generations we destroyed before them, in whose dwellings they now go to and fro? Verily in that are signs. Do they not then listen? And do they not see that we do drive rain to parched soil, bear of herbage, and produce them with crops, providing food for their cattle and themselves? Have they not the vision? They say, when will this decision be, if you're telling the truth? Say, on the day of decision, no profit will it be to the unbelievers if they then believe, nor will they be granted a respite. So turn away from them and wait. They too are waiting. Commentary 186, Introduction to Surah Ahzab. The issue of all things depends on Allah alone. We must put our trust on Him as the guardian of all affairs. He loves truth in all things, both great and small. Call things by their right names. If false relationship by custom or superstition do harm to men and women, shun them. The spiritual guide is more than father. The ladies of his household are mothers to the believers in rank, dignity, and duty. The guide will have to give an account, and thereafter of how the truth was received, which he was charged to proclaim to men. Ahzab, or the Confederates. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. O Prophet, fear Allah, and hearken not to the unbelievers and the hypocrites. Verily Allah is full of knowledge and wisdom. But follow that which comes to thee by inspiration from thy Lord. For Allah is well acquainted with all that you do. And put thy trust in Allah, and enough is Allah as a disposer of affairs. Allah has not made for any man two hearts in his one body, nor has he made your wives whom you divorced by zihar your mothers, nor has he made your adopted sons your sons. Such is only your manner of speech by your mouths. But Allah tells you the truth, and He shows the right way. Call them by the names of their fathers. That is juster in the sight of Allah. But if you know not their fathers' names, call them your brothers in faith, or your maulas. But there is no blame on you if you make a mistake therein. What counts is the intention of your hearts. And Allah is oft returning, most merciful. The Prophet is closer to the believers than their own selves, and his wives are their mothers. Blood relations among each other have closer personal ties in the decree of Allah than the brotherhood of the believers, the muhajirs. Nevertheless, do ye what is just to your closest friends, such as the writing and the decree of Allah. And remember, we took from the prophets their covenant, as we did from thee, from Noah and Abraham and Moses and Jesus the son of Maryam. We took from them a solemn covenant, that Allah may question the custodians of truth concerning the truth which they were charged with. And He has prepared for the unbelievers a grievous penalty. Commentary 187. When the formidable forces of the whole Confederacy bent on destroying Islam burst upon Medina, it was Allah's grace that saved the Muslims. The enemies and the hypocrites did their best to defeat the purpose of Allah, but they were foiled. In the apostle was found the ideal leader for the men of Allah, who became heirs to the heritage misused by enemies to faith and the laws of Allah. O you who believe, remember the grace of Allah bestowed on you, when there came down on you the host to overwhelm you. But we sent against them a hurricane and forces ye saw not. But Allah sees clearly all that you do. Behold, they came on you from above you and from below you. And behold, the eyes became dim and the hearts gaped up to the throats. And ye imagine various vain thoughts about Allah. In that situation, where the believers tried, they were shaken as by a tremendous shaking. And behold, the hypocrites and those in whose hearts is a disease even say, Allah and His apostle promised us nothing but delusion. Behold, a party among them said, Ye men of Yathrib, ye cannot stand the attack, therefore go back. And a band of them asked for leave of the prophet, saying, Truly our houses are bare and exposed, so they were not exposed. They intended nothing but to run away. And if an entry had been effected to them from the sides of the city, and they had been incited to sedition, they would certainly have brought it to pass with none but a brief delay. And yet they had already covenanted with Allah not to turn their backs, and a covenant with Allah must surely be answered for. Say, running away will not profit you if you're running away from death or slaughter. And even if you do escape, no more than a brief respite will you be allowed to enjoy. Say, who it is that can screen you from Allah, if it be His wish to give you punishment or to give you mercy? Nor will they find for themselves besides Allah any protector or helper. Verily Allah knows those among you who keep back men, and those who say to their brethren, come along to us, but come not to the fight except for just a little while. Coverage is over you, then when fear comes, thou wilt see them looking to thee, their eyes revolving like those of one over whom hovers death. But when the fears pass, they will smite you with sharp tongues, covetousness of good. Such men have no faith. And so Allah has made their deeds of no effect. And that's easy for Allah. Now they think that the Confederates are not withdrawn. And if the Confederates should come again, they would wish they were in the desert wandering among the Bedouins and seeking news about you from a safe distance. And if they were in your midst, they would fight but little. You have indeed in the apostle a beautiful pattern of conduct for anyone whose hope is in Allah in the final day, and who engages much in the praises of Allah. When the believers saw the Confederate forces, they said, this is what Allah and His apostle had promised us. And Allah and His apostle told us what was true. And it only added to their faith and their zeal and obedience. And among the believers are men who have been true to their covenants with Allah. Of them, some have completed their vow to the extreme, and some still wait. But they have never changed their determination in the least, that Allah may reward the men of truth for their truth, and punish the hypocrites, if that it be His will, or turn to them in mercy. For Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. And Allah turned back the unbelievers for all their fury, nor advantage did they gain. And enough is Allah for the believers in their fight. And Allah is full of strength, able to enforce His will. And those are the people of the book who aided them. Allah did take them down from their strongholds and cast terror into their hearts, so that some ye slew and some ye made prisoners. And He made you heirs of the lands and their houses and their goods, and of the land which you had not frequented before. And Allah has power over all things. Commentary 188. The Prophet's household is not for worldly ends. His consorts have a place and dignity beyond ordinary women. They must recite and proclaim the signs of Allah. For women have spiritual virtues and duties like unto men. Allah decrees no unhappy wedlock. Fear not to dissolve such and provide what is right and fitting for the service of Allah. High is the Prophet's position, and he must order his household as best befits his work and duties. Allah doth watch over all things. O Prophet, say to thy consorts, if it be that ye desire the life of this world and its glitters, then come. I will provide for your enjoyment and set you free in a handsome manner. But if you seek Allah as apostle and the home of the hereafter, verily Allah has prepared for the well-doers amongst you a great reward. And O consorts of the Prophet, if any of you were guilty of evident unseemly conduct, the punishment would be double to her. And that is easy for Allah. Alhamdulillah. And that is the 21st reading of the Quran. We visited and passed the 20th day of the fast, inshallah. You're in your last 10 days of Ramadan. Make sure, inshallah, that you implore Allah these last 10 days, seeking refuge from hellfire. Inshallah, let us implore Him these last 10 days, inshallah. Those of you who wish to give, you go online. You can go online and go to FirstCleveland Mosque. You can go to Cash App, $FirstCleveland. And of course, you can go to Zelle, FirstCleveland Mosque at 131 at gmail.com. And you can also go to checks at 3613 East 131st Street, Cleveland, Ohio 44120. Also reminded to all of you, those of you who need to calculate your annual zakat, you can calculate. I have calculation sheets that are present. If you wish to have one, you can get one from me. You should have that in before Ramadan. Also on the Eid day, zakat al-fitr will be $15 per person per family. So the fitr charity is different from your annual zakat. So you want to get your annual zakat in, your yearly zakat, which is an obligation on you, and you want to make sure that you get your zakat fitr in, before the Eid day prayer, inshallah. And also as a reminder, for those of you online, those same things. Eid, hopefully we're looking at Eid somewhere on either Sunday or Monday, inshallah. We won't really know into the Hilal is cited. So inshallah, may Allah make it easy for us. But we are in our last 10 days, inshallah. Are there any announcements? A reminder that Brother Jamiluddin Ghani, who has been an avid member in this mosque for years and years, has passed away yesterday morning. And of course, we will be having this janazah here at the FirstCleveland Mosque at 10 o'clock. The gathering time will be at 10 o'clock here at the FirstCleveland Mosque. The Salat will start at 10:30, inshallah. So those of you who wish to give condolences to the family, you can do that on that day. That is Saturday this week, 10 o'clock here at the Mosque, 10:30, inshallah. At the, as the Salat will lead out. And of course, he has a lot of non-Muslim family members, so they will definitely get an explanation of what the janazah process is all about, inshallah. We have brother Tio and sister, what's the sister? So Ramada, they are married. They just had a child, so may Allah bless them and their children, inshallah, and continue to keep them healthy and wealthy, inshallah. So let us be mindful. We also have a beautiful iftar this afternoon. So those of you who don't have, we have. Let's go downstairs after we do this Salat and let's eat. Eat together and love together, inshallah. After we finish that, pray together, inshallah. So with that being said, we'll be dismissing and breaking our fast in about another 3 minutes. So are there any other announcements? Oh, I have none. I got my water. I got mine. So we had some open already, Abdul.
Yes, so open right here.
Abdul. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim wal asr. Innal insana lafi khusr. Illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihati wa tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bis sabr. And brothers, when we finish the Salat, you can take a couple of these tables downstairs, inshallah, and some of the tables. I don't think we have that many, but you take a couple of these long tables downstairs, inshallah, and the chairs, inshallah.